What is up, my valid peeps? Kaden here. We're nearly at the end of the year, and what better way to close it off than with a Q&A? Last month, I asked y'all to send me questions on my Patreon, YouTube community tab, Twitter, Threads, and Blue Sky with the hashtag Kadian2023 Q&A for the chance of getting them answered here. With all that being said, let's get started. So I didn't get any questions from Patreon, but if you want to see sneak peeks of future videos and all of my videos a day early, be sure to join there for just £2 a month. Most of my questions came from Twitter, so I'll start over there. First up, I got a question from Sunny Go Lucky, who actually is one of my patrons. What, in your opinion, is the most underrated form or suit? From any Toku, of course. Wow, starting off with a difficult one now, aren't we? From all the Toku content I've seen, there aren't many suits that I feel go underappreciated, but if I had to pick just one, it would have to be Ultraman Tiger Tristorium from Ultraman Tiger. It's a significant design improvement upon base Tiger, having a pretty awesome debut in the show, along with a great rise that takes elements from the rises of all of the form's component Ultras. This next one was asked by Get Ready for Toku. You have to fight Omagio and Eren Yeager with the Founding Titan and they team up. What Kamen Riders, max 10 to 15, from main, secondary, thirdly, extra, Evil Riders, movie exclusives, book, campaign, basically everything and everyone, who would you choose? I haven't seen Attack on Titan and I have no plans on watching it, but I'd pick Cross, Zero Two, Arc Zero, Evol, Geats, Saber, Jay, Decade, Cougar, Gaim, and Xaid. Oh, my next question is from Lumia, who I did a collab with for Trans Awareness Week last month. You all should go check that out, it was a lot of fun to record. Anyways, Vera and Vicky are sisters. Vera is 4 years old and Vicky is 13 years old. What age will each sister be when Vicky is twice as old as Vera? What? That question makes no sense whatsoever. Oh, okay, now for a real question. What's your favourite kind of bread? I'm a simple kind of girl. Admittedly, my tastes aren't that varied, so I just have to say white bread, really. Link to OP. Any plans to make your own full story for an OC rider instead of just a little bit of backstory for them? And if so, which one? So yeah, I've done little bits of backstory for some of my OC riders, particularly Flare, Desna, and Akemo, which I did a video on that y'all can check out. And I did do an additional series synopsis for one of my very old rider ideas called Kamen Rider Saurus, but I don't think I'd ever have the time or patience to write a full-on story for any of them though. Persona Owner asked, if you could pick any 5 Toku characters from any series to form a Sentai team, which would you pick? So I did this for myself for fun last year, but it was only picking from Rider and Sentai, and as my own Go Rider team, which consisted of Kamen Rider Demons, Kamen Rider Vulcan, 2 Kaiser, Kirame Green, and Kamen Rider Slash. If it wasn't just limited to Rider and Sentai though, I'd pick Ultraman G's, Kamen Rider Vulcan, Ultra Woman Grigio, Papillon Oja, and Kamen Rider Juga. From Goober. Favourite Showa Sentai season? If you haven't seen any, then which one looks the coolest to you? So, I haven't seen Showa Tokusatsu of any franchise, let alone Sentai. Therefore, I'd say the one that looks the coolest to me would have to be Choju Sentai Live Man. The Ranger suits look neat, and so do the mecha. Toku Customs' question was, who are your favourite female riders and why? So, pre-Reiwa, the only female riders from the seasons I saw to completion were Poppy and Tsukuyomi, and while the latter had a great suit design, that's about all I can say for them. Reiwa's incorporation of at least one female rider per season has given me a lot more options and made this question significantly easier to answer. My overall favourite female rider comes from my favourite season of rider, Revice. Kamen Rider Jan, Sakura Igarashi. In my opinion, she has the best combination of great suit design and consistently great character throughout the show, her debut as a rider being one of the best bits from the show's first arc. Valkyrie, aka Yua Yaiba, I'd argue has one of, if not my favourite looking female rider suit, with her V-Cinema form Justice Serval. though that got hardly any screen time, and her overall character could have been done so much better. The Smoke Swordswoman, Reika Shindai, Kamen Rider Sabella, was great right until her weird behaviour towards her brother started. Naeong was pretty good throughout Geats. Her forms as Nago weren't bad, but I did not like the end of her character development in the show. Making up with her dad? Sure, I can get behind that. Making up with her mum though? Absolutely not! Frickin' why? Kohai Black asked the question, do you love Blowhigh? Yes, I very much do love Blowhigh. I owned one myself, which I got for Christmas a couple years ago, and called Raska, whom I love very much and take to bed with me every night. Penultimate Twitter question asked by Benson the Weeb. Which Kamen Rider or Super Sentai series do you think is overhated or doesn't deserve all the hate that it's getting? Honestly, the closest answer I can think of for this is Kamen Rider Revice. I've seen the last portion of the show get a fair bit of hate, though I don't think it deserves it all. Generally speaking though, of all of the shows I have seen, I don't think any of them are overhated really. My final Twitter question came from CO2000A_A, which is actually in two parts. What was your favourite rider armour in Geo, and why do you love Tokusatsu? My favourite rider armour in Geo was the Decayed armour, and as for why I love Tokusatsu, to paraphrase my answer to a similar question from last year's Q&A, it's all just incredibly awesome to me. It has incredible suit designs, characters and stories, and I wouldn't hesitate to tell my kid self about Toku besides Power Rangers if I had the chance. Now on to the questions from my YouTube community tab. Both people who submitted questions here asked 2 each, and the first are from Xenion Omega. Number 1, what do you plan on doing for 2024 onwards? And number 2, what do you find interesting about the colour gold? So I don't really want to spoil much for content in the coming new year, but what I will say is that both new KDverse and Kamen Riders with Pokemon types videos are plans I've got for the year, along with a Pokemon type related video, and a Kamen Rider video that I'll need your valid peeps' help for. As for your second question, gold is a colour I've loved for a long time now. It's a colour I've tended to associate with ultimate power, and I do love overpoweredness. Kamen Rider is a great example to explain this, with my top 3 favourite forms in Kamen Rider all having gold in them, with 2 of them having it as their main colour. The second 2 questions are from Ultra72161. 1. How are you doing? And 2. What other things do you like besides Toku and Gundam? I'm doing good, thanks for asking! As for my other interests besides Tokusatsu and Gundam, I'm also into Ben 10, Pokemon, Transformers, Lego Bionicle, Ninjago and Hero Factory, and Marvel. My last question is the only one I got on threads, from UniWarrior1234. Where do you think Kamen Rider Outsiders will go story-wise after Zane betraying humanity? Oh, interesting question. So, in terms of story, I don't really have any ideas, but I do have some ideas for forms that I want to appear, being Kaiser Break, Evol Tank, Lock, and especially Dinosaur, and maybe at the end of Outsiders, a new version of The End Complete that uses all of the new forms from throughout the series. Kaiser Break, I'm not too certain on, given that next Kaiser's a thing now. And as for the Evil forms, I know he went into outer space at the end of Build New World Cross, but he did say that he'd come back to Earth at some point, and I feel Outsiders would be the perfect time for that to happen. Much like Patreon, I didn't get any questions on Blue Sky, but do make sure to follow me over there if you ever get an invite code. I just got set up there myself a few months ago. That's all the questions done. Thank you all so much for sending them in. With that done now, I wanted to show off some fan art I got throughout the year. This first one was some birthday art made for me by my good friend Third Eye Artistry, chibis of Kayla Osran and Stalgius from my Stalgius the Ambasavia project. Cute stuff! The next 2 came from when I reached 11 months on HLT in August. In this one from Chaotic Yuki, he imagined your valid peeps as shiny little radiant things, and honestly I thought that was just adorable. And this one is from Dunk's Aquarium, who made a 3D replica of Stalgus in the game Hero Forge. It's not a game I'm particularly familiar with, but this was some really cool stuff and very much appreciated. I got a couple things for when I reached a year on HRT back in September also. The first is once again from Doug's Aquarium. They made me in Gacha Club, and I thought that was really nice of them. Once again, it's not a game I'm entirely familiar with, but I do think I look rather cute in this art style. The second is from Persona Owner, who made me in pixel art, which is pretty neat. And inserting this in during editing, but separately from those two, Doug's Aquarium also made a fusion of Stalgus and Pakino, and I gotta say, this looks pretty awesome. It's been a few months since any of those were posted now, but I thought a community video like this was the perfect time to show them off. Thank you all so much. Remember, if you all ever want to send me any fan art, you can send it to me on Twitter to @Cadian_, either in DMs or just tagging me in a tweet with it. And with the fan art done, that's it for my final video of the year. Thanks to all you valid peeps for your continued support. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share this video. Very happy holidays and a happy new year. And with all that being said, I'll see all your valid peeps next time in 2024.